If you stop for a moment, and just stay in the moment, and the moment has the sun or the stars, the moment has the feelings in our body, the moment has the world situation, the moment, temperature, the wind, the people around you. Just appreciate the moment. Appreciate the moment. And appreciate, just go into it, go into it. The moment, the moment is not time and space. The moment is, it's not a minute, it's a moment. And the moment, if you go delve into the moment, you come to spirit. Yeah.
It's the same as you always talk about here and now.
Yeah.
The moment.
Yeah.
Being present in the here and now.
Yeah.
But most of the day, our minds are so confused into the past and into the future. We're all worried about what happened yesterday and all the drama that took place with our family and our businesses, and then we're looking ahead to what we're looking for, but very few times we're really able to just absorb in the now.
The moment is the past and the future are thoughts, because you're not in there. The moment is in there, and I find in my own work the thoughts of the past and the future I don't recognize.
So the past and the future are actually in the moment as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So take them all.
Yes.
And here we are.
Yes. That's the mind is in the present.
Right. Good. That was really nice. What is obsession, and how do we overcome it?
Obsession is a thought, or thoughts. And you can overcome it by moving down to your heart and to your spiritual heart, and view those thoughts from the witness. And you are not in those thoughts. You are in the witness. You're witnessing your obsession. And your obsession is his problem. His problem.
Obsessive behavior is such an integral part of the ego, and really holds you to a certain place that it's very hard to come through that and becoming the witness.
I'm a bhakti yogi, and I use a very direct thing. I start at the ego and go to the soul, and the soul, in this plane of consciousness, this is called loving awareness. Loving awareness. So you start here, say, I am loving awareness. 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 And you work until your consciousness is in that next plane of consciousness.
You're using this as a tool, like japa, like a mantra?
Yeah.
To get you out of...
To get out of the ego.
Okay.
Most people are in their ego. Their ego are their roles.
Who they are.
Yeah. And then the soul has other experiences in past lives and so on. And then it goes down here, and then you stop, I am. Down here, just loving awareness, loving awareness, loving awareness.
So you actually stop the saying I am because you're sitting in the awareness itself.
Yeah.
How can we alleviate all the poverty and suffering in the world? I know it's a tough one for the individual, but as a collective.
Well, I have studied my environment and social action, and I think social action goes from heart to heart to heart to heart, from individual to individual. And like if I lecture in a group, there's each individual, my heart goes to that heart. And I personally think that we should we could all become who we truly are is soul. And if everybody were soul, you would leave, if you were a soul to yourself, you see others as souls. And it makes the even. And you don't bother looking at their roles and bodies or anything like that. And then you sit between souls, and the relationship between souls is love, just love.
So you start with the suffering inside of our own selves.
Yeah.
And go to the love and to heal that.
Yes. Up here is anxiety and
confusion and all this.
Fear. Fear. And then go here and here, and it's love.
every day brings on huge amounts of fears in everybody's life.
Yeah.
Terribly so. Sometimes they just want to lock themselves in their rooms and not even come out.
But that's great. If they could lock themselves in and come out, go in and sit quietly, and then listen to what's going on in their soul.
Right, but to help with the suffering in ourselves, we then have to go back to like our childhood and our upbringing, and we have to go through a huge amount of healing process, not even taking into consideration past lifetimes and karmic difficulties.
I was a psychotherapist, Freudian, and I used to delve into that world, but I don't now. The present is the present. If you've got a mother complex, it's in the present. And how we are dealing with it now.
So forgiveness would be a way to go, forgiving. Healing through forgiveness.
Forgiveness brings two beings together. So is compassion, so is love, and I work with love.
So if you have things to forgive each other for.
Yeah. But I don't, forgiveness either has power in it. You know, I forgive you, you know. It's a little bit too psychological.
Interesting. It's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, we sit together with whoever we feel that has wronged us, or we wronged them. So we're asking them for forgiveness, and I'm asking you to forgive me for anything that I've done to you in the past through my words, deeds, or actions. And I forgive you for anything that you've done to me through your actions, with words or deeds.
It's all too psychological.
It is.
It is. That's not, because they.
That's assuming on my part that that person even knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's working with your.
That's right.
With your. They're all thoughts. They're all thoughts, and I treat them as thoughts.
Right.
Boom, and not get into the.
Right. It's an interesting way to look at it. Like, it's all, no matter what those thoughts are, they're still coming from the play of the ego. So if you just want to go for the love,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with any of that.
Love is not up that. It appears not in that screen.
Correct. It's way beyond everything.
Because love comes, the soul is the one that's love. And when you love somebody, love, a beautiful view, love is coming from your soul.
So then if you're emanating that love from your soul, you don't need to go out and yearn for that love from another human being, because it's already coming through you. So why do you even need a relationship? Why do you need a husband or wife? Or are they just formalities?
To fulfill your karma, to fulfill your dharma. Your dharma. And that's the play of the play, the Leela, and when you have got your love inside, you love your guru or yourself, then you don't need anything from outside. And you have your guru and your God inside. And these are big lovers. Big lovers. And the outside they're substitutes for this. This is unconditional love. Unconditional love. And very few from outside have unconditional love.
So the Guru and God are one.
Yeah.
Because most people do not have the presence of a physical guru other than what they read or what they study or so.
Well, I've studied this problem. I've looked at my guru brothers and sisters and all the people who have Maharaji in dreams and visions and just in their heart and read books about him. And those people, unlike those people have a connection to God, to Maharaji. Most of them have the majority of the ones with him.
Yeah, but that's sounding very separatist kind of. That sounds like if you don't take Maharaji as the guru, that means you're not able to find this same presence that you're talking about. And what I was seeming to think is that God dwells within each and every one of us.
Yes, every single one of us. Every single one of us.
Correct. And that doesn't have a name or a form.
It's called the Atman.
Right.
In Sanskrit.
Right. So if you're actually in tune to the Atma, you don't really need the thought pattern of a guru or the physical presence of one.
Well, a guru is inside, not outside. People go search for the guru,
right? And
it's a fallacy. In India, they say don't search. The guru gets you.
Finds you when you're ready.
Yeah, he reels in the fish.
Right. There's so much disappointment in people searching for thinking that they need a physical guru.
Yeah.
They go out and they find one and they put all this attention into that particular man or woman, and then it winds up in disappointment most of the time.
Well, that's not always disappointment.
Right.
Not if they find a Satguru or like.
Could it also be another form of a crutch that we're trying to hold on to, so that We don't have to really dive deep inside of ourselves to really get to those places within?
Maharaji has me diving deep.
I could see. The ultimate. Right.
When you see a dog with a little ball or something, tossing it back, that's how Maharaji feels about my ego. Although I'm still,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
So that aspects of having a physical guru is the beautiful moments of diving deep.
Yeah, but I want you to know that Maharaji is inside me. I talked to him inside me, and I went to India to look for them. That was a, yeah. That was, I was searching for information, not for a guru. Then I had to cross the guru, but I wasn't searching for a guru.
So you actually found a guru in the physical form, and he or she, he in this point, rests inside of you all the time.
All the time.
24/7. You don't even have to.
No, I would say, take it back. Off and on. Yeah. Sometimes I get caught in my ego, and I ask, what am I doing here? And that starts the whole process.
Right.
And then I have to surrender to Maharaji. See, the word surrender it's an anathema in West.
Right.
But in the East, surrender is a good thing.
It's really surrendering the ego.
Yeah.
It's not like giving up your possessions and everything. I mean,
that's all your ego.
Yeah, that's also good.
That's your ego.
That's right.
But it's not surrendering that way. You're not giving. Like if I have a decision, I can't. And I surrender to Maharaji. He makes the decision.
So it comes through on an even plane.
Yeah.
Without you being involved from your ego state.
That's right. It just comes from the soul place.
From the soul place. That's a beautiful, compassionate way to look at every day.
Yeah.
To rest in that place on a daily basis. That's what you.
It's okay. Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry.
We had a little helicopter
It's
tour.
there.
Yeah, it's there. It's no problem. Well, we'll segue into another question now. Is it possible to know without a doubt the difference between good and evil?
I think you intuitively you know, intuitively within you. good and evil are not particularly, I'm not used to them. Good and dharmic.
Right.
And adharma, which would be good. When somebody does something evil, it will screw up the works in a spiritual sense, not in the world, spiritual sense. And you feel like you're breathing for air, because the air it's all been it sullies the air.
Stagnant.
Yeah, stagnant. Yeah.
You feel a little closed down.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you didn't do it.
Correct. So that brings up the question of, should we speak up when we witness people treating others, including ourselves, disrespectfully or abusively, or we should mind our own business?
That is our own business. Any one of us has been treated cruelly. We're being treated cruelly. And we are all on the path that leads to oneness. And oneness is oneness with other people. And other people, situation, give us in their heart, give us in our souls. They need to respond to it.
In reference to our own selves, but if you're outside, like we were outside yesterday in a parking lot, and we saw two people arguing over a parking space, and they were getting very rough with each other. Do we mind our own business and walk away?
No.
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 Even if it's a 6'8" Samoan guy and arguing with somebody?
I think that in a very soft voice, there's a rational way to try this, and love one another.
You're putting yourself in the line of fire at that moment. And
That's true.
And they can turn around and vent their anger on you, which is usually the case.
If you are afraid of death, if you're afraid of death, you're not going to be in freedom in this life.
Who isn't afraid of death, Bob? At every moment of the day, even though that they're not thinking about it.
Everybody who is in the soul knows they're not afraid of death.
If you're resting in the soul, you know you're not afraid of death.
That's right. They've been dying and being born and dying, and it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And anybody that's had a near-death experience and all those kind of things, they don't have fear of death. They don't.
That's just a few people. I think what you're trying to say maybe is that we need to take this compassionate thought to help people
Yeah.
understand that death is just coming back and coming back and coming back, and there's nothing to fear because we'll see each other again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not losing anything but what looks like
You
my
lose
father or my
you
mother.
lose face. You lose your life. That's true. You get banged up a bit. It's life.
But walking away, in reference to that particular issue, walking away could have been your dharma or your karmic predicament that had already been designated for you at that moment, which is exactly what happened with us yesterday when it happened. We didn't step in, we watched it, we got back into our car and we drove away. So I always felt that why get involved in everybody? You know, you drive down the street, you're going to see 100 of these things. You're not going to get involved in every situation throughout the day.
If you're in a parking lot, and there's two people fighting, and that's all there is in the parking lot, I think you have the karmic debt here. I think it is. You're right, because it has to do with your compassion, and you say, I'm going to go compassionate from here on, but this looks dangerous. Well, something like that.
And do we even remember what happens when we drive out of the parking lot? I'm only remembering it now because we're talking about it, but
Yeah.
And unless I read it in the paper and saying, oh my God, I was there and I could have done something to stop this.
Yeah. Yeah. If you rationally could have stopped that, you would have done that. You would have done that.
My actions would have
Yeah.
been there for that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you had, would stop you. If you said, that would change the beginning. I have, like Hanuman, I have the will to stop that, and that you wouldn't. Hello, I'm sorry. You wouldn't stop it.
That's taking on a lot to merge yourself in between two raging people, or more so a crowd, or whatever it is. Your whole body is going through a very traumatic experience.
Sure.
Is it worth it?
Worth it?
Yeah, is it worth it? Putting yourself through...
Worth it? It might bring you death. Wow. Yum, yum, yum.
I can think of better ways to bring me death than stepping into two people fighting.
Better ways than compassion?
If the compassion finds a beautiful ending, I agree. But if the compassion...
Death is a beautiful ending, I'm telling you. That's, you see, this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tricky one, huh?
Yeah.
It's very tricky. Because, then self-preservation comes into an aspect
That's
of
ego.
that moment, right?
Yeah.
And
Anytime death comes in, self-preservation is looming.
right.
Yeah.
So we're not always thinking of the loving awareness self at that moment.
No. No. But if you're ensconced in the soul, you don't feel the, what if I do?
What a wonderful way to be if we all could be doing that every single day. And that's what you're trying to, that's what your message
Yes,
really
and
is.
that's what the world would,
Right,
the world would be peaceful.
right. Okay, what does seva, selfless service, really mean? And the word is a Sanskrit word, seva, meaning selfless service. What does it really mean?
It means service to God. And if any service on the worldly plane, but you are doing it for God.
Devoting that action
Yeah.
to God.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's a component of service, selfless service, that the ego likes to grab onto and thinks that they're getting an award or reward
Yeah.
for doing that selfless service, even though we say, I'm doing selfless service.
That is not true selfless service.
Right.
But that's very ersatz. It's very. It's not seva. It's not seva.
So selfless service comes from unconditional love,
Yeah. Yes.
from a true unconditional love place.
Ram, 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 Ram. And one of the things I learned from my guru is devotion, not devotion. And when you are devoted, it means that you're at least, your faith is strong to other planes of consciousness. You do your acts on this plane, but on another plane you are doing them for God. I'm living in a field of flowers, and the flowers are growing and growing and growing, and there are souls that have been caught in the web of the mind, and then they're souls, and they're free. And I love it, and but I think if it's me that's ego. He's wanting them. He's wanting them, and So I'm working for him. That's my seva.
So if you're scrubbing floors, or you're cleaning toilets, or you're scrubbing pots, it is not Ramdas that's doing those actions.
Yes. If it's I think why you're scrubbing the pot is making all the difference. Scrubbing pots at a retreat is different than scrubbing your own pot and in your house.
Why would you think that's different if it's all selfless service?
That at the retreat, it's service. It's worldly service.
And at your home?
There's no worldly service in there. But
why not? If it's all service, how can we differentiate between the retreat and our home if it's all selfless service? If I'm just doing it all for God. It's not. At the retreat I do it for God, but when I get home I do it for the self.
Okay. Point given.
All right. So this next question comes from Poland, Warsaw, Poland, from a Monica K. We had a little contest on our internet, on our website, and we asked people from all over the world to send in a question, and we got a few beautiful ones. Here's one from Warsaw, Poland. It's a two-part one. What is love? And how do you describe the feeling? We'll start with that first. What is love and how do you describe the feeling?
Love is going towards merging, becoming one. And so the great love in our spiritual life is the love of the Guru or God. And that's going towards the one. And any time you're going towards the one, for example, I have one I given people wedding vows, and I say it's a triangle. The groom and the bride are going up, and they're coming towards each other, and they getting to the pinnacle, to God. And that's the love, it's a love triangle. Yeah.
Are you saying you can only have this love through this triangle, or can you develop it through your own being?
I thought you were asking about love in the world.
I am. How to describe the feeling is what I'm trying to get at.
That's the second part.
Yeah.
It's ecstasy. it's it's a bright, it just it doesn't, you're not going to explain it. Words don't do it. It's something that is beyond words. It's love. It's love. What would I describe love?
Are you feeling it right now?
Yeah.
So that's the description.
Yes, I have. Oh God! Oh my God! Yum 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 yum.
And it's shining from your face
Yeah.
and every part of your body.
But that's what love is.
Yeah. Every pore, everything
Yeah.
is feeling this love.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Is it, another part of that question?
Yeah. So how do you distinguish what we feel is real love, not just the play of the ego? So you might be experiencing this beautiful love right now, or anytime. What does it have to do? Is the ego in there somewhere? Or is it just pure unconditional love that we're feeling?
It's home in your spiritual self. That's what you're. That's. I'm home. I'm home. I'm home. I'm home. And if it's solely ego, it's brittle. It's brittle. And this love is like honey. It's very soft and malleable and when it's ego, it's the love is you're making it happen. You're making it happen.
You're wanting something.
You're wanting something. Yeah.
So when you're with another being, like hugging or laying down next to them, and you're feeling this real love, the ego can step in at any moment with its set of circumstances.
Yeah.
So that's the place which we have to be very careful at.
Yes.
Because we can buy into that.
Yes. But it's the strength of pure love is there's nothing that you can do by ego that is powerful enough to upset the pure love.
So you stay in that pure love all the time.
All the time.
No matter what
All
your
the time.
partner
All the time.
or anybody else
All the time. All the
pulls
time.
you towards.
All the time. Pure love is, it's the universe. It is the universe. I mean, I'm looking at it through eyes of the soul. And everything, a tree or the ocean or the people, it's all pure love. They don't know it.
So it's way more than just this fuzzy, warm feeling.
That's what the ego says.
Right.
Oh boy, fuzziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It feels good. I want more.
Yeah. I want more. I want more.
But that could be the trap of
Yeah.
the ego saying, yeah, you want more? Well,
Yes.
then this is what else you're going to have to deal with.
Yes. The ego is very tricky because it claims, like it would claim love. Love comes from the ego, from the soul.
The ego claims it for itself.
Yeah, yeah.
So then where do you think thoughts come from? Do they also come from the ego?
No, the ego is a thought. The ego is thoughts. Thoughts come from karma. Thoughts come from the soul. The soul runs like say the mind is a wonderful servant, but it's a terrible master. And that's what you're saying for the ego.
Right. Yeah. Normally the ego runs havoc on our lives every single day. And
our lives is ego. Our lives. Like my soul, that's the ego taking over the soul.
Claiming ownership.
Yeah.
So we wake up in the morning, it's our movie. You're the producer, director, and writer.
Right.
And the whole day long, you're
Yes.
in your own movie.
Yeah. Except when you're in the soul.
Right. Which you're saying to be, write the script revolving around being in the soul all day.
That's right.
Instead of being in the ego.
And that's noting the presence in each moment.
Right.
Boy, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So the breath has a lot to do with that. Reminding us of the present.
Yeah.
By being able to breathe.
Breath is so important.
Yeah.
So important.
We forget that we're even breathing all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you remember that you're breathing? Just automatic.
Yeah. When you want to change planes, you could do it with breath.
Right.
With breath.
I notice during the day I'm doing more alternate nostril breathing.
Yeah.
In one, out one, and that seems to bring a very quiet, settling feeling to me, and then I'm able to make a decision or doing something going forward in a little bit easier, quieter space.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. In fact, when you have a tough decision, either surrender or breathe. Or breathe.
So the breathing has to be more prominent than the thoughts.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. And you can feel yourself
wavering. Yeah. Right. So that you go deeper in the breath at that moment.
That's right.
As opposed to being deeper into the thoughts, because the thoughts are just going to grab you and say,
Thoughts,
I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. We identify with thoughts. You know, a thought, I'm no good. Oh, Jesus, I'm no good. I'm no good. And it falls and, yeah.
Why are we so afraid all the time? We're afraid of these thoughts that come up?
Well, afraid comes down to separateness, because we're a little thing, and everything is big around us. There are big mothers and fathers, big winds, big snowstorms, big politics, and it's little. You're little, and then, boy, you want to. That's you're fearing of
who you are in the bigger scope
Yeah,
of things.
yeah.
And that creates the separateness.
Yeah. No, or the separateness creates fear.
Right.
And then one of the things that the separate soul or the Jivatman wants now to do is to merge with the lover, the God, or the Guru.
The true self.
The true self, yeah. And and shed all the separateness. A separate soul has separate identity. This is where that's a step from us to one is separate selves, and this is the one that Buddha didn't stop for.
Right.
He came right on, right, the whole thing.
But we're stopping.
Yeah, we're stopping.
We're stopping.
Because it's worth it to yeah. I realized that the West had nakas with the separate soul. Souls have it's a word that a lot of excess meaning in religions.
That brings up one of the questions that came in about religion serving its purpose that it was intended to. But then again, what was religion really intended to do but control the masses?
No, it wasn't to control the masses. It was a way, a path towards the one. That's what it was for. That was what it's for.
Man. As man, over the ages, has misconstrued the original intent.
Yeah. Yes.
Because of the ego.
They felt the church was their way, and you want to think of your way is powerful, and this is a very big problem that people try to convince others of the rightness of their own path. Yeah.
That's what religion is doing in all its forms.
Yes. Well, not all its forms.
Well,
Jews don't turn other people into Jews.
they don't?
No.
Why do you say that? And why do you pick them out as opposed to Christians or Muslims or
Christians
Hindus?
Definitely do.
They definitely do.
They
try to
definitely do.
convert you.
Yeah.
Muslims?
Yeah. Yes.
Hindus?
No. No. No.
In its original form, all these religions were in a pure state, but they all had the same take on the world, on life, on existence.
On God.
On God.
On the One.
On the One.
The
That's
One.
where it originally started. But that's not where it is in present day.
My one is better than your one.
Right.
Yeah. My doctors have a wall. It says a sticker. It says, my God loves your God.
So over the years, there's a certain amount of compassion that has been taken out of religion, when the whole basis of religion was compassion. That was one of the main themes, is compassion, love, and serve.
Yeah. That's what Jesus wanted to do. Yeah. Yeah. But the Christians were afraid that their Son of God would beat. Their Son of God would not worldwide worshipped.
Right, so it's a power. Then again, it goes back to losing the power.
Yes, yes, yes.
which is coming from the man's ego.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bible is men's work. Men's work, not...
But aren't all books man's work?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when are we going to see some God's work? Or are we seeing it right now?
Stop being so obvious.
So, Ramdas, to what degree have you had control over the course your life has taken?
Control. Control.
Yeah. Interesting word.
Control. In life, I have felt that I was having a control. I didn't. I surrender. I mean, Maharaji I'm a puppet for him. And I don't have a control.
Yeah, but before you met Maharaja,
Yeah, that's...
you thought you had control over
Yeah, yeah.
So now
Yes.
that you look back, do you see that you really didn't?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And we all should look at it that way? Should we
Yes.
all look at it that
Yes.
way?
Yes. I mean, it's fantasy to think I'm getting...
I'm in control of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what are your happiest childhood memories?
Riding my bicycle. Riding my bicycle. My family, at times when they're in tune and they love each other. Like Sunday pot roast. Yeah. There's the love. The love, certainly in those moments, the love overpowered the power.
The other aspects of
Yeah.
family life.
Yeah.
Would you say that you had a happy childhood overall, or did you have a normal, dysfunctional family situation like most of us had?
I'd say mine normal, but in my lectures, I say things like, if you want to know how your sadhana is going, spend a weekend with your family. That's what I used to say. Now that I have a son, and I've seen so many of my coterie around me with their family stuff. And I've adjusted my image of my mother to see of her soul, and my father as see his soul, and that's why they were sick, and I was taking care of them, and when my mother and I started to talk about death and soul and so on, while she was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
This was down the psychedelic days. With my father, he was a and I remember him as Dad going out to work. And he was so powerful. But in the time in the 90s, his 90s, I was taking care of him. And he was like an angel. He was so present, so spiritual. And I said to myself, here was this guy, all this life, and he had this spirit in him, and yet he went because that's the only way he knew how to get ahead. Yeah.
Because that came from his family and their family, and back.
Yes. He was he was a poor in a tenement, and he, like
rose up. But rising up, a lot of times, you're rising up economically, but you're leaving the compassion.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So rising up and bringing the compassion along with you.
Oh boy.
Then we can change some
Oh
things.
boy. Some of the guys that that we know, like Bill Gates and things like that, are trying to do that.
Well, they're trying to do that now that they have the funds to do that.
Yes.
Were they trying to do that coming up? No. Right.
No.
Like we saw the movie about Steve Jobs, and it showed a whole nother take on who he was, how ruthless he was coming up.
Yeah.
So, Baba, what prevents us from living to our fullest potential?
Well, it depends on how you consider as fullest potential.
Right.
I am God in drag.
So that's your fullest potential.
No, but the drag. If I drag, I'd be God. That would be my fullest potential.
So aspiring to be the God within is your fullest potential?
No, aspiring doesn't. No,
Being.
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 Just like Maharaji, being. And I see it, but I don't be it. I see love, but he bees love. That's my fullest potential.
Right.
Because that's when I went to India and saw Maharaji. First, I was wowed by the potential of a human being. And so I thought, I'll bring that back to the West, that we don't have to settle for people like Einstein and Lincoln and things like that. They have some God in them. But Maharaji had more. And I said, why aren't we having that potential, that of course he lived, his sadhana, he was he was meditated in a living in a lake underneath, and the lake, that's the way he keep away from people. I mean, I can, he's tough, they're tough, but yeah. It's a long, hard to be your full potential.
So the ego, again, back to that ego, that prevents us to a large degree
Yes.
of living to your fullest potential.
Yes.
Controlling this massive ego that just controls every aspect of our daily life.
Yeah, I used to as a psychologist, my psychology was built around the ego.
Right.
And now I see what riches my spiritual heart gave me for life. And I never thought it, because psychology didn't.
It perpetrates that. It continuously keeps you there. So what are the greatest qualities that human beings possess?
Love. qualities: love, compassion, peace,
Devotion.
devotion, yeah, devotion. An intellect too.
Discernment. Discernment. Being able to
Yeah, the discernment.
discernment.
Yeah,
That's a good quality.
yeah. Boy, that's good quality. Yeah.
So why do you think what makes one person happy can make another person unhappy?
Their karma. Their past, the past, and their minds. Their minds. Like it rains here, and if I'm a farmer, I'm happy. I'm a tourist, I'm unhappy.
Right. My towels are wet. I can't get into the ocean. I spent all this money.
Yeah, that's unhappy.
Right? But the farmer loves it because they're getting crops and
Yeah.
the grass is green and everything is blooming.
Yep. And they are me. They are me. I'm happy and sad. The rains. Yeah. That's what the compassion is. That's just what compassion is.
Right. Sweet. Here's a cute question. If you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
Give it to my foundation. I'd burn it. I'd spread it around to those who have no money. That's the compassionate end of it, right? Yeah.
There was a case study recently about people that have won the lotteries and how their whole lives went downhill
Yeah.
after they got all this money.
Yeah, yeah,
And they eventually lost it all
yeah.
or spent it.
Yeah. I give it to Maharaji. Since he has it anyway. He once said to somebody, he said, I have all the money in the world. I have all the money in the world.
But he still asked you for the Jeep, for the Land Rover.
But he also, there was an old woman, and she had a coin in her cloth, and she was giving it to Maharaji, and he says, no, give it to him. He needs it. And I'm needing money. Because
He
of
said
my,
for her to give it to you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I had my traveler's checks. And he saw that I had a need for money from my upbringing. Yeah.
That's very interesting, because she would also need it to take that rupee or whatever it was to buy a chapati or some food.
She had already given it. Given it. She was, you know. And then I took that money and I divided it up and give it to somebody who has a sick grandmother or business was failing. So
You would help people out.
yeah.
So basically, if any of us ever came into a lot of money, that's what our purpose should be. Help our fellow man.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Help everybody.
Oh yes.
Take care of everybody. Feed
Yes.
everybody.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because at the end, when you're leaving, it's not how much you have and how many toys you collected.
Yeah.
It's what you did for.
The poor. The poor.
Gets back to the selfless service.
Yeah. And it's funny that it's the poor inherits, so the rich people should become poor.
In order to see how it is.
Just to inherit the spiritual, because when they are rich, they're burdened with thoughts about money.
Right. And maintaining that lifestyle that the money created.
Yeah, they're like controllers of the reservoirs of money. And I've met many of my friends were controllers of the reservoirs of money, and it does them in. They can't trust anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
They can't trust themselves at that point either. So it's all illusion anyhow.
If they thought that would have been
pretty good.
Yeah. Yes.
So if it's all an illusion, why bother with anything then?
Well, we're in this incarnation to learn something, and and to bother brings us the tire, the rubber contacts the road. There's plenty of stuff we've got to learn about our negativity, the world's negativity. That's lots of stuff to learn.
So if you had one wish for the world, what would it be, Baba?
all the individuals would get to their consciousness of oneness. Yeah. Because if everybody won, there wouldn't be fighting and the poor people and all that terrible stuff.
Arguments in parking lots and stuff like that.
Arguments in parking lots.
So then I wouldn't have to choose to jump in there.
So you had a good and evil day then. You went away from getting involved with evil.
Might be a good thing also to be able to have that choice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's the choice. Yeah.
So
your choice is bothering you now. From then.
It shouldn't, though.
Huh?
It shouldn't. If I felt that it was the right choice, why should it bother me?
Yeah, but it's
as we're bringing it up, it's churning.
Yeah, it's churning out.
Yeah, but so then how can we avoid the churning of what you think is not making the right choice or not?
That's all the mind.
It's all the mind still.
That's
still
the mind. The mind. Yeah. Yeah. All the things I wish that I was yeah.
So that parking lot situation appeared to me yesterday to do what? To test, to see how I was going to react?
No.
Or to show me that this continuously is happening no matter where we are. Yeah. Paradise, or on an island, or whatever, you know?
It shows those two things. That you talk a good game about, we all do, about compassion.
Right.
But that was a compassion move.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. How far would we go on this compassionate thread when it concerns maybe life and death in the moment?
What difference it make?
Right. Getting back to the dying.
Yes, that's why I'm working on dying.
That's right. That's why that whole thing is so important and very big.
Absolutely important.
Right. Huge.
Absolutely
huge.
important.
How it ties all in together.
And with the baby boomers having the aging, there's the aging and death are two things that our culture hasn't handled.
Right.
Because we're a youth culture.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great theme to keep on working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which brings me some thoughts about putting more death and dying workshops into the framework of our Bhakti Fest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Because beyond death.
Liberation.
It's soul land. Soul land. Everybody's soul. And everybody's living in love. Living in love. And we're saying, oh God, no, no, no.
So sweet. Yeah, I'm so touched by the children of today. The young kids are just blowing me out. We had a beautiful example of that the other day, and that segued into this next question about if you could offer a child one piece of advice, what would it be? But we visited some friends of mine the other day, and I had a birthday a month ago, but they came out with this beautiful birthday cake and they sang happy birthday to me. And this little girl who I hardly know, she's 4 years old, went into the house and came out and bought me this beautiful necklace that I'm wearing today in honor of her. She wrapped it up in a little piece of paper and said, here, I want to give you this gift. I don't even know her. It was just totally from her pure, innocent heart.
Pure heart, but also she had in her mind presents and birthdays. Birthdays give you presents. And she's learned that before. She's been having birthdays and she...
But I'm a stranger.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So you think by conditioning, she associated birthdays with gifts,
yeah,
and had the thought,
her thought,
give.
But she gave it with love.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she didn't want anything in return.
Nothing.
Right. So that's the beautiful innocence,
yeah,
of a child that seems to,
yeah,
leave us as we grow older and the
and
ego
since
develops.
we leave them, that's what you... To tell a child, go back to your roots. Go back to...
The innocence.
Innocence and spirit before... I'd leave a child with the what was your face before you were born? Leave them with that.
Leave them with that advice.
Yeah.
Go back to the face of who you were before you were born.
Yeah.
How would they know that?
That's what that's how she'll... that's the same thing as death.
The face of birth and the face of death are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. The birth comes from the same place, and death goes to the same place.
Right. So as soon as you're born, you're starting the process of dying.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And then coming back in again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And we as souls are busy dying and taking birth.
That's our job.
It's our karma. It's our dharma, really. Dharma.
So then we've all been together many, many times.
No. No, I think it's, there are soul pods. There are soul pods would love each other very. And maybe you're going down to a birth. Let's see, I could go down to your mother. I could be your mother. But it's agreed by the soul pod.
The soul pod decides
Yeah.
what incarnation you're going to take next?
The person and their guide, which comes out of the soul pod, is Maharaji for me.
Angel or something.
Angel, yeah.
You think everybody has an angel?
Everybody.
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 Good or bad,
And
no matter what.
They have a guru. That's the same thing.
So the angel's in the form of the guru.
Yeah.
To the people that don't recognize the guru in the form.
Yeah.
Even bad people have angels?
Yes. Yes. Even Hitler
Had an angel.
had an angel. Because the two of them figured out whether in the long run it'd be good for the earth to live that moment in history. And it's just like Ravana was a very good yogi in his last birth. I mean, that's the devotee of Jesus, who told the troops where Jesus was. Maybe those aren't ego. Those are made the one. But it may be Hitler, and then these souls, the Jewish people and the others, they're all good, and they are deserving of death.
Wow.
Wow. See?
Did they have free will or freedom?
They will. You mean do they experience experience free will, and
Because I see that people just go along as to everything that is other people in power or superior tell them, and most people just go along. Until they say, I can't take it anymore.
yeah, that's the drama going on
Continuously.
continuously, the lila.
50,000 years and more.
Yeah. 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 I do things that are negative. Just a moment from a moment. And then I say, what do I do then? Then I see how it comes out. And then it makes me much firmer on my spiritual path.
It brings strength.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So by doing something negatively or not right, through understanding of that action, brings
The understanding of the action.
right. That's the key, is the understanding of the action.
Yeah, like when I stroked, and Mickey's film,
Fierce Grace.
Fierce Grace, that it was Fierce Grace, and Siddhima, the woman that Maharaji trusted of,
Right.
she saw the film, and she said to me, what are you doing? Maharaji was responsible for your...
And that's what you said in the film.
Yeah.
That's what you thought.
Yeah.
And so she was reacting.
Yes, and now then I let that conversation led to things that he wasn't responsible. He was responsible to my reactions to the stroke. I had reactions. It's grace. It's grace. That was the grace.
That's the fierce grace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, everybody should see that movie. It's absolutely fantastic. And it brings out a lot of
Yeah.
everything you're discussing today. That's an example of coming through a situation, coming out the other end, and still being able to serve and to be here for everybody.
You know, it's the stroke took away my external pleasures, my sports car and my golf and my cello.
Right.
And everything.
Desires and things like that.
You know, they were all wiped out. So I went inside and I got such feeding. I got fed love that just Yum, 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 yum.
Do you think you would have the same understanding now, today, right now, had you not had the stroke?
Had I not had,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's very powerful. It's very
I don't
powerful.
think so. Because it forced me to confront my insides.
Look inside.
Yeah. And most people don't have that.
They don't have the opportunity to do that.
No. No.
Till they get sick or they have some ailment or
the friend gets sick or something like that.
something that tests their ability to
Yeah.
have compassion.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm as I said, a bhakti yogi. And my path in that is Guru Kripa, the Guru's grace. But I think, or not but, I think that I have had a tremendous lift from japa, repeating the names of God, and kirtan, repeating the names of God. And it's like repeating the one, wow, yeah, oh, and it keeps bringing you in, bringing up. And yeah, and I honor the sadhaks who are using kirtan as their path,
I do also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So japa and kirtan is a beautiful vehicle.
Very, very,
It's a great,
yeah.
it's a great drive.
It's,
Direct.
yeah, direct.
No,
Yeah.
not too many stop signs.
And it's a kirtan engages the love that gets through of our souls.
Breaks away all the external drama.
Oh yeah. Oh
Go right
yes.
in there.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
And the last question is sent in by Jamie Healy, and it is, what is the single most important thought we could all meditate on to heal the planet?
I am a spiritual being in a physical body, not a human having a spiritual experience. Yeah. Make that shift. Yeah. And you would then affect everybody who you meet, and they affect meet and so on, and heart to heart to heart to heart. That's the social, the social action you could do. Yeah.
See the soul, the heart in everybody
Yeah.
that we meet.
Yeah.
Even in the parking lot.
Yes. Yes. And if you only know this, if you identify with your soul, you have them as souls, and your love would affect them. Yeah.
Ramdas, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for pulling these questions.
I really honor you so much. All our Bhakti Fest family honors you, and thank you for being here in this body. Your next book will be what? What are you working on, by the way?
Well, I just finished one, Polishing the Mirror, which really was good. And this one is my biography, but it's seen from Maharaji's viewpoint. So it's an incarnation, and it means from this book, everybody will be able to see their own life from the spiritual point of view.
Viewing it from...
Yeah, from...
Without looking at it from...
Yes, yes,
Right.
Yes, yes.
Well, we look forward to reading that.
I do too.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too. Tell you too. We do it each year.
Yes. It's juicier and juicier as we go along.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is because it tests both of ours.
Yeah, exactly. And when I review and I look at the ones from previous years, and how much we grow and how much we go deeper, and how much we just surrender and let go also. How we react is not as important as it used to be when we were younger.
Just those days are over. You know.
Those days are over. It's a nice title for a book.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Love conquers. Love brings me as a soul, brings me to the one. And that's the best thing I can do to affect the world, the universe. And that's compassionate seva. That's the same thing, compassionate seva. If I'm a soul and you're a soul, I have you are my body. I can do something for you. For you. With that in mind, that's the motivation. And that's all compassionate. Compassion and love are just, they're a little bit apart. They're, you know. This spring, I'm doing a retreat with Sharon. And Sharon is compassion, and I'm love, and we'll go like that.
And you bring the kirtan with Jai.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He's love. Mm-hmm. He's love. See, it would be good if I could interact with souls for the rest of my life. Yeah. No, it's not the same thing as interacting with the people I see in souls. I want them to see themselves as souls.
And then come together.
Then come together. Those are magnificent.
Right.
I've got to go to bed.